I think what interested me is the fact that it wasn't really, I mean, I like boxing stories.
Imagine a photograph of the woman who once stood beside Hollywood's ultimate tough guy, her smile radiant, her presence electrifying. Now take a deep breath, because the face you see today doesn't just bear the passing of years. It carries the weight of secret affairs, hidden children, bitter court battles, and a silence that cost her more than fame ever could. This is the story of Clint Eastwood's first wife, and of the many women who loved him, lost him, and then vanished from the headlines. Clint Eastwood's path to stardom began far from the red carpets and studio lights. Born in San Francisco in 1930 at a whopping 11 pounds, earning him the nickname Samson, he grew up in modest comfort in the tree-lean streets of Piedmont. After high school, he drifted through lifeguarding jobs and grocery clerking until a chance meeting during his army stint landed him an audition with Universal Studios. Bulky and awkward before the camera, Eastwood flunked his first screen test but charmed casting director Arthur Lubin enough to earn a $100 a week contract, provided he improved his acting. Rigidity in posture and a habit of snarling lines between gritted teeth marked his early performances, yet something about his immovable calm and understated toughness couldn't be ignored. By the late 1950s, Eastwood's big break came with a Western television series Rawhide, where he played the lanky cowboy Rowdy Yates. Viewers were drawn not to a flashy leading man but to a quiet energy that whispered of hidden strength. Episode after episode, he sharpened his skills and built an unassuming reputation, a slow-burn ascent that would later inform the measured dignity of his screen persona. There were no fireworks, just a determined young actor who learned to let silences speak louder than bullets. Off-camera, Clint's personal life was already a tangle of devotion and deception. In 1953 he married Margaret Maggie Johnson, a reserved fitness instructor he'd met on a blind date. She became the mother of 2 children, Kyle, born in 1968, and Allison in 1972, and weathered his mounting fame with discreet steadfastness. But long before his first divorce in 1984, Eastwood was leading another life. In 1954, a daughter named Lori was born and quietly placed for adoption, the mother's name still shrouded in mystery. Then, as Rawhide rolled on, he embarked on a 14-year affair with stuntwoman Roxanne Tunis. Their secret daughter, Kimber, arrived in 1964, yet Clint didn't learn of her birth until nearly a year later. When he did, he supervised visitation like a clandestine arrangement, peeking in only occasionally as if she were an enigma to be managed rather than a child to be cherished. These hidden chapters multiplied over time. Flight attendant Jacelyn Reeves gave him 2 more children, Scott in 1986 and Catherine in 1988, while actress Frances Fisher bore Francesca in 1993. Finally, in 1996, he wed news anchor Dina Ruiz. Their daughter Morgan was born that same year. In all, Clint Eastwood fathered 8 children with 6 different women, weaving a personal history defined by love, abandonment, and secrecy. Yet the public knew little beyond his on-screen bravado. Even as he crafted war stories on film, Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima in 2006, Eastwood found himself embroiled in a very real battle over representation. At the 2008 Cannes Film Festival, Spike Lee publicly challenged him for erasing Black Marines from his World War II narratives. Eastwood's retort, "A guy like him should shut his face," ignited headlines. Some critics defended Lee, arguing that filmmakers had an obligation to portray history's fuller truth. Others sided with Eastwood's insistence on strict historical accuracy. The feud transcended mere cinematic squabble, forcing Hollywood to reckon with whose stories get told and whose slip into the shadows. But if any chapter of Eastwood's life reads like a simmering tragedy, it belongs to actress Sondra Locke. They met in 1975 on the set of The Outlaw Josie Wales and fell into a passionate affair that would last until 1988. Locke, Oscar-nominated and fiercely independent, believed they would build a life together. Instead, she later alleged that Eastwood coerced her into 2 abortions and a tubal ligation, procedures she never wanted, and that he wielded his power to keep her silent. In April 1989, she found the locks changed on their shared Beverly Hills home and, reeling from the shock, filed a palimony suit. For 19 grueling months she litigated claims of emotional distress, financial abandonment, and even wiretapping. When it finally settled, she received 2 houses, $450,000 cash, and a so-called development deal with Warner Brothers. What looked like vindication turned out to be a hollow promise. Every script pitch she submitted was quietly rejected. The deal revealed to be a front funded by Eastwood himself to muzzle her career and bury her voice. Locke's life after the courtroom was marked by resilience and heartbreak. Diagnosed with breast cancer in 1990, she endured a double mastectomy and later battled bone metastases. Always stoic, she shared little of her private agony with the world. When she died of cardiac arrest on November 3, 2018, after years of silent suffering, no Hollywood tributes followed. Her passing went unreported for 6 weeks, the Academy Awards annual in memoriam segment omitted her name entirely. Radar Online finally whispered the news in mid-December, but by then she had vanished once more, denied even the faint echo of public remembrance. While Locke's story is the most harrowing, Roxanne Tunis's fate whispers of similar neglect. The stuntwoman who doubled for Eastwood in Rawhide faded from view after their affair ended in 1973. She raised Kimber largely out of the spotlight, and when she died quietly in 2023, only the close-knit stunt community honor her memory with a heartfelt online tribute. To most, she remained the ghost of a secret past, eclipsed by the legend she helped build. And Maggie Johnson, the woman whose name launched our tale, survives in nearly total privacy at age 94. She rarely steps into the light but now quietly oversees a youth arts fund under the Eastwood Foundation banner in Monterey County. The once glamorous bride who stood by Clint through decades of public acclaim and private duplicity now asks for nothing more than obscurity, and a measure of peace she never enjoyed during her marriage. Clint Eastwood himself turned 95 in May 2025, yet he refuses to retire. Friends say he meditates, practices yoga, and follows a vegetarian diet to stay sharp. He spends most days at Mission Ranch in Carmel, walking the beach and perfecting golf swings. He lost longtime companion Christina Sandera in July 2024 and retreated into quiet mourning, but his resolve remains unchanged. Creativity doesn't run out with age, he told a recent interviewer. Rumors swirl that he's already eyeing another original project, eschewing Hollywood's current franchise mania in favor of untested storytelling. Take another deep breath, and let the faces of these women float before your mind's eye: Maggie Johnson, Roxanne Tunis, Sondra Locke, Jacelyn Reeves, Frances Fisher, Dina Ruiz. Each carried a piece of Eastwood's legacy, some willingly, some unwittingly, only to be cast aside by the relentless glare of stardom. Their stories remind us that hero worship can conceal a terrible cost, that the loudest silences often mask the deepest wounds, and that time, above all, is the sternest judge. In the glare of studio lights or the hush of private sorrow, every star has a story. Clint Eastwood may remain a living legend, but the women who loved him deserve to be remembered, not as footnotes to his myth, but as the complex, courageous souls they were. And if this tale stirs your heart, share one of their names today. Let us honor their story.